Hey guys, this is Ryan from Ryan K Technology, and today, pretty much, the Apple iPod event was held today, September 1st, 2010. It's 11:06 a.m. and literally the event just finished. As you guys can see, I have a bunch of notes on here of what happened, what's being released, etc., etc. So let's just jump in. So it pretty much started off pretty slow. Obviously, Steve was just talking about statistics when it came to how many of what they've sold, etc. They decided to jump in and they started with iOS 4.1. I guess some of the features that it will have is you will now be able to rent TV shows, so you can over, I guess, the internet, so you can rent TV shows from your phone. There's bug fixes. I have an iPhone 3G, and it is pretty laggy with iPhone 4.0 on it. So they claim that there will be bug fixes. The Game Center, which you guys all know, it's kind of basically think about it like kind of like Xbox Live, but on your iPhone, and it works with multitudes of games, is also going to finally be released. And there's going to be high dynamic range photos, which, from what I can understand, it takes 3 photos in rapid succession: one normal, one underexposed, and I guess one overexposed, and then combines all 3 to make a picture. And it does this within, I guess, a split second, from what I understand. This is a new OS. It's coming to all iPhones and iPod Touches next week. It will be on the iPad later this year around November, and that is also a free update. For the iPad, though, which I think is a big deal, wireless printing will come to the iPad on that November update. So I thought that was pretty cool. So then they went to iPod Shuffles. Pretty much, they realized that the 3rd generation, the one that's like skinny and it looks like a piece of gum, was basically a failure. So they actually literally they brought back the 2nd generation iPod Shuffle. So just think of the little square one. Yeah, just think of the square one, and that's pretty much what they brought back. It's back with buttons. It has voiceover. They brought back the wearable clip. It still has it. There's playlist. There's Genius mixes, and then voiceover, like I said, is still there. It comes in 5 colors. Those colors are silver, blue, pink, yellow, and green. And they're gonna sell for $49 for 2 gigs. So I think that's a pretty good deal. So probably one of the biggest things that they announced today, in my opinion, is they announced a totally new iPod Nano. Now, what do I mean by a totally new iPod Nano? Literally, think of the 2nd generation iPod Shuffle with a touch screen on it. That's pretty much what the iPod Nano is. And it's about the size of an iPod Shuffle. I want to say a little bit bigger. So it's 46% smaller, 42% lighter. It has a clip. It has actual volume control, so no, you won't have a little device this big and be trying to slide a little thing to, raise the volume or whatever. It has voiceover. It has FM radio. It has manual screen rotation, as in it doesn't have an accelerometer, from what I believe. You actually have to press a button and the screen will rotate. I think that's what that means. It comes at $149 for an 8 gigabyte and $179 for a 16 gigabyte. Definitely go check out Apple's website, apple.com, because you're definitely going to want to check this thing out, because I don't make it sound that impressive, but honestly, it's pretty surprising what they did. That is also going to be coming in silver, blue, pink, yellow, green, graphite, and the red production. The one that if you buy it, they'll donate some of the money to the AIDS Foundation. Next was the iPod Touch. Nothing really surprising there. I kind of expected all of this stuff to happen. It has a camera in it, finally. I didn't read what kind of specs that camera is, if it's 3 megapixel, but I'm assuming it's not. It's going to have a Retina display now. It's going to have the Apple A4 chip processor that's in the new iPhones, etc. It has a front-facing and I believe a back-facing camera, so you're going to be able to FaceTime. And also it's going to have HD recording. You're going to get an 8 gig at $229, a 32 gig at $299, 64 gig at $399. And it pretty much has the same, I guess, design factor outwardly. It doesn't look that different. Maybe a less curved backing. And then they moved on to iTunes. Pretty much what happened with iTunes is there is a new logo. They named it iTunes 10, and there's a social networking thing within it. I guess you could say that's called Ping. It kind of is like Twitter meets Facebook. Think of kind of like the recent activities thing that you see on your Facebook. So basically, you're going to be able to follow artists, and artists will be able to tell their followers what they're listening to, what they're buying when they have a new album out, etc., etc. So basically, obviously, it's more useful for people who want to or who are underground or not well known. It will be very interesting to see. Let's say, for example, I make a CD or something like that, and somehow, some way, I get 500,000 followers, and then I post that CD to iTunes, and 500,000 people know that that CD is out. They can listen to it. They could buy it if they want to. So I think it's a easier way to expose new artists, because it is kind of hard to find new artists, or when you're browsing iTunes to look for new artists. So I thought that was interesting. And so after all that was done, it's also not just artists. You can also make your own profile. They also showed off Steve Jobs' profile and like what he's listening to. I don't think it's actually Steve Jobs though updating his thing though, personally. And so then they did the one more thing, which to be honest I thought was the most disappointing thing out of everything. It was the ITV. You're gonna now be able to rent Hollywood movies and TV shows. Everything's in HD. It's on Wi-Fi, has HDMI and USB Ethernet. There's no purchases anymore, guys, so you cannot purchase TV shows and movies and store them on your ITV. It's only rentals, which I thought kind of sucked. HD rentals will start at $5, TV shows for 99 cents. ABC and Fox are already on it, Netflix is on it, and YouTube is on it. I thought this was honestly the most disappointing thing. Another disappointing thing that I have to say is that I guess the iPod Classic is dead. The original iPod Classic with the scroll wheel, etc. I'm assuming it's dead. I'm not 100% sure, of course, but I guess they're not going to be updating it anymore. I guess they're just going to stick with the 160 model, which is kind of for me, because that's the model that I prefer to use. Just because when I'm in the car, I just have to reach over and press a button instead of having to grab it and try to figure out how to do the multi-touch when I'm driving. So I just have to click a button. I thought that was useful. The huge capacity of 120 gigs really helped me out, and it's really a money saver for me, in my opinion. So it's kind of disappointing that that wasn't expanded. But besides that, that's the new lineup. Go check Apple.com. Obviously, if you can't get to Apple.com, it's because everyone is going all crazy because they want to see the new iPods. New iPods are up for pre-order next week, and they will be available, I think they said, the end of November to the first week of December, so basically in time for the holiday season. Anyway, guys, this is Ryan. I'll talk to you later, and have a good day.